Hello and welcome to the very first episode of Take Your Hits. Today we're at Section 8 near Glasgow. We started off the day talking with Neil, the site owner.
Section 8, biggest site I've ever come across. Played here for a good few years, eventually got to a position where I could take it over and run it, and that's what I'm now doing.
Cool. How big is the site?
1,400 acres, just under.
That's big.
Makes for some pretty varied gameplay. There's a lot of different terrain, a lot of different bases. Some of the games we play 2 hours, you could spend half an hour getting to where you're going to go and fight.
Which locations within the site would you say are the players' favourites?
The Alamo, which is an old bridge right over towards the edge of the site, is a real favourite. It's quite a focused firefight when you get down there because you've got to get across the bridge,
Right.
or you can cut down through the river. That's a favourite. Canadia's a big favourite. It's a fairly big base, very difficult to defend because it can be attacked from 360 degrees.
Cool. How many players do you have on average, would you say?
Our average is probably just over the 100 mark. We've had game days last summer, we were touching 130, 140 most game days. A couple we've got just under the 160.
Are most of these regular players, or is that a
There's
good mixture of drop-ins?
There's a good number of nomadic players, I'd like to call them, that play from site to site.
Right.
We have a very large catchment area. We've got people here today that have travelled 2.5, 3 hours to get here. We get quite a few overseas players as well.
Right.
In the last 6 months we've had them from Australia, New Zealand, South Africa. There was a group came from America just to come and play here.
Do you run many themed games here?
During the course of the year we'll usually have a couple of standard mill sims. We've got the DayZ 2 coming up this year for the second time. That's in June 18th. And we've got a game that we're planning at the moment, a narcotics based game with a bit of politics and various different factions and bits and pieces in it, just to get away from the straight military simulation and shoot 'em.
Do you get many players here who step out of the modern military simulation loadouts?
Yep, we've got quite a few. Today we've got World War II Germans, World War II Americans, 80s Brit kit, Vietnam. We get everything, we catch everything.
Brilliant.
I think Neil should call his company Hogan's Heroes. And if you're not old enough to get that, ask your dad or Google it. Now we are talking with Al, the organiser of the very successful DayZ.
Tell us about DayZ2.
DayZ2.
DayZ2, my apologies.
You're welcome. DayZ2 is the follow-up event that we're running at Section 8 Airsoft to a very popular DayZ event that we ran 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
So DayZ is a PC computer game which is essentially a zombie survival simulation.
Right.
And I was playing DayZ and someone in passing said, wouldn't this be great if you could play it in real life in some sort of game format, and that stuck with me, and then I ran the idea past Neil and a couple other people, and we turned it into something that we could do in the airsoft environment.
Awesome. But it's taken some planning.
There was a lot of planning in terms of the game mechanics, because it's not like a normal airsoft mill sim that most airsofters will be familiar with.
Right.
In fact, I would describe this as a role-playing zombie survival simulation with airsofting rather than an airsoft mill sim with zombies, for example.
So going back to DayZ1, going back to DayZ1, how does DayZ2 differ?
DayZ2 differs in that it's 2 calendar years after DayZ1. So DayZ was day 0 of the zombie apocalypse, and the players found themselves without any equipment, and they had to run around and avoid the zombies while gathering equipment with which to fight back and protect themselves. So 2 years later, almost all of the refined objects and consumables have been looted. So in DayZ2, the players will start with their equipment, but what they won't start with is their consumables. So they will have to...
things like BBs, food, water, etc.
Exactly. They will have to find those resources and in some cases craft those resources. And in some of those cases, those resources will not be able to be crafted by one people, so there'll have to be like collaborations of people with different skills to make more.
A community, basically creating a reforming society kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. So the idea is 2 years later, the people that have survived are the sort of people who are resilient and able to adapt and make use of their skills to survive.
What about the guys who want to do the military, over the top, everything gung ho? Is there a space for them?
There is a space for them. So we are having, we started calling them professions, but that became very misleading. We're calling them skill groups. So one of the skill groups you can choose is to come from a military background, which gives you some military advantages. There are other skill groups. You could come from a medical background and you have the ability to, and DayZ, the PC game, there's a lot of medical aspects to the game. So someone with a medical skill group, for example, would have access to those kind of skills.
And the map back here is the map of the site.
That's the map of the site.
And you're utilising the whole site for the game?
We'll utilise most of the site. So the site is 1,400 acres.
Right.
And this map represents the site as it is at the moment. But what we'll do during DayZ is we'll split that into sectors.
Right.
So one of the game mechanics in the PC game is that you spawn randomly and alone. So as a player, Gary, you may be assigned Sector 2 and we'll direct you to Sector 2 and we'll direct you to the Sector 2 Marshal. You'll go to him and he will tell you to spawn in a special direction at a certain distance, and you'll spawn into game when the game starts in that location.
And being a zombie game, I imagine there are zombies.
There are zombies. The zombies we have are very professional zombies. They're actually the same zombies we had for DayZ 1, which were very popular and very scary actually, and they're from Scare Scotland. So those guys are as close to professional zombies as I've ever seen. They're very good, they're very well trained, they are
Very effective.
very effective and pretty scary in a dark woodland at night.
Do not move! We are the Free Generation Forces. We are the last law and order in the country.
You could find other ones.
You are give us the water or you will die. This area is under martial law. You may leave.
Thank you.
I will not wish you luck, my friend. There is no luck in these times.
So we're going to do a quick review of the Webley Mark 6 455 caliber made by Wingun for Webley. The box is quite nice compared to the regular ones. It's not plain brown, as you can see. Nicely detailed with the Webley on the front, the caliber, and it says based off the original blueprints from 1915 with original markings. On the back, it lists some of the productions that the Webley featured in, including video games like Bioshock, Bioshock 2, etc. Inside, it comes with a reprint of the original manual, complete with graphics to show you how to load it properly, how to rest position, safe position, so on and so forth, and shooting position. The gun itself, this one is the antiqued version, the battle-worn version, which means, as you can see, maybe the wheel is slightly worn, it's blued, like it's been used. You've had it for a while, been in battle with it. Let's get rid of the box. It's quite heavy, it's nearly a kilo. It feels very solid, except for the grips. The grips aren't particularly good. These are just plain plastic. I'd want to change those for the wooden grips which are available. To load, you have this lever. According to the manual, you should unload it with vigour, which would eject all the shells onto the floor so you can drop them straight in. Early 19th century, 20th century speed loader, if you would. So it's double action, which means you can either fire as is from this position, as in boom, long trigger pull though. You can pull the hammer back, it'll lock into a tighter position, so you've got a shorter trigger pull, but it will slow down your shooting. Sounds quite nice. CO2 in the handle. You lift the handle off with this little notch. The CO2 canister goes in here. The lanyard ring at the bottom is how you lock it into place. This goes back in just like that, clips back, sorted. So this has the power down shells. Normally the power is roughly 400 feet per second. Power down shells can bring it to 200, 250, which makes it nice for CQB. Right, that was the show, guys. We hope you enjoyed it. See you next time, and remember, take your hits. Bye bye.